Go live for like the 4th time. All right, this time it worked. Hello YouTube. You missed a few minutes of a stream. Mainly I was talking out loud about the possibility of just going through some curated problem list, like this list of 75 blind curated problems, and looking at names. Those are frequently occurring names. Like word search sounds very basic. Climbing stairs, that one is, I think, too easy. Set matrix zeros, merge intervals. Those are problems with short statement that occur a lot of times naturally, and for sure they were very common a few years ago. Maybe now interviewers try to spice it up a little bit to avoid common problems, but at this point there are so many problems that I don't think they should particularly avoid like one problem. Like maybe this first problem. It's so common. It's problem used by Google as an example of an interview problem. They have a video on that. I still use Ubuntu for programming. Resources on discrete maths? I learned in school. Can you share a link? Yeah, so this is one link, this is the other. It's the same thing, just formatted differently. Okay, what do we have here? Again, I will eventually start solving problems today. It's not just a stream where I just look at titles. Arrays, binary representation, DP. Yeah, for DP, I think that I could also go myself through all Leetcode DP marked problems and choose meaningful ones and make them in proper order. Graph, interval, linked list, matrix. String heap. What's the Google Doc? Somebody provided a link. Will this one work? Hopefully. Hi, Omega Boss. This is link. It's by apparently some YouTuber. I don't really know him that well, so I don't know if it's a very good a very good list. Oh yeah, it's funny. I looked at this title, Happy New Year. Also, I wanted to say, I don't know if it's a good list, and I said, I don't know if it's a good year instead of list. Algorithm topics separately. Yes, I have those plans. All stone game problems, we'll do that today. Worth considering. Stone game is like a series of problems on Leetcode, right? Right now, I am just checking out lists of curated Leetcode problems. There's also some top lists in problems. I'm not sure. Well, we can start here by... we can choose top 100 light questions and top interview questions. But I think that both of those will be mainly old problems. A problem from a week ago, even if it's amazing, it will for sure not be in top 100 liked questions, because there are fewer likes. It should be like weighted. It should consider inflation, this list. I bet that here, top liked list, I bet that right now there are new problems have numbers like 1500, and here the last problem has number 760. And people like problems. People don't like a problem if it's very difficult. If it's common and easy, then sure. To-sum is a perfect example of common and not difficult problem. First, missing positive. Like this is also easy to implement, at least like That depends on constant time, space. Yeah, so the harder version maybe is not that easy. Or this problem with XORing numbers, like everything is in a pair, find the one that appears 3 times or just a single time, and you take XOR of all the numbers. I bet that this would be also liked a lot, but also maybe disliked a lot, because it's so ad hoc, randomish. The top 100 liked, maybe it's a good name, so I should make a video saying, oh, I solved top 100 liked questions on Leetcode, but I don't think it's a good list. Top interview questions. Is it by frequency? I think somebody once told me that this is a bullshit list. Well, it stops at 450 as well. Even if it was good, I don't think it is anymore. Leetcode is easy, says the man with 10 years of experience. Yeah, walking is easy too. Some babies have troubles walking, right? And me, with 20 plus years of experience in walking, I don't even fall down. Good ratings, but low acceptance rate. Well, OFDM. This is a good recommendation of a problem for me now. Sure. I even might read this now. What is that? Change one string to another. Only one letter can be changed. And you need to go through existing words. So find a path from hit to cog by only using these words. We need to find the shortest path, so it must be BFS. And it's just about a way to implementing BFS. Old Leetcode problems have this issue of not having constraints. And it's bad for non-interactive problems. By this I mean, in a real interview, you can come up with some solution, and then interviewer will tell you if you should implement it or try something better. Otherwise, here you're kind of wasting time. You will get time limit exceeded, and you don't even know if that's a correct solution. Maybe in some other test you would get wrong answer, but first you get time limit exceeded. I'm not a fan of lack of constraints. BFS plus DFS. Well, it cannot be DFS unless it's a tree. DFS doesn't find shortest path. All right, let's do this problem quickly. I would say it's basic. I will give you all a link. Have you ever taken a coding interview yourself? Yes, I was interviewed for some companies. My accuracy, not accuracy, but my acceptance rate for now is 100%, 5 out of 5 or like 6 out of 6. I never though tried to get to a FAANG company. Google invited me for interviews, but I declined. Right, we start with Beginward, and here let's call it, we go from A to B and we have word list. If it was what BFS does, it starts from A, and then like while some kind of queue is not empty, so for every string S, let's say in some kind of queue, and initially queue would be just a string, starting string, for like new strings from which you can get from S in one move. Let's say from this starting hit, you can get to hot. Like if not visited yet, by visited I mean we didn't yet reach this, we will say that distance of S2 is distance of S plus 1 and q.pushback append S2. Right? It's something like that. That would be BFS. And it's not here clear what is this line. I'm of course here doing pseudocode, but this outlines my full algorithm other than this line. Line 7 is not clear. How to iterate over strings that are so similar to string S. There are two ways for that. One is I can iterate over all strings S2 in the given word list. And here I can say if not similar, continue. And similar would check if they differ by one character, just like described in the problem. HackerRank worse than Leetcode? HackerRank is a strange mix between coding interviews and competitive programming. Maybe some of their basic problems are good, like if they have some list for hash map or something like that, I don't know. HackerRank hash map? Do they have a lesson for that? But never solve random problems there. Random problems in HackerRank often will be about competitive programming, like use a segment tree or something more complicated. And you will just be stuck and you will waste time. For competitive programming, use Codeforces and AddCoder. For coding interviews, use Leetcode. Don't use HackerRank. I thought they have some kind of course, but I think it's only split into problems. Tips and guidelines. I remember that author of Cracking the Coding Interview has some series of videos with in collaboration with HackerRank. So that's for sure valuable. Codeforces for coding interviews. I mean, sure, it will make you better at Leetcode, but it won't be most efficient. You will learn some techniques that you will not use in a coding interview. My opinion on binarysearch.com, it has more interesting problems than Leetcode, but they are hard. Like the current world of coding interviews is strange. Yeah, if not similar, then continue. Functions similar would just go character by character, check if they are different, and the total number of different characters should be 1. Then it's similar. The complexity of this will be, let's say that size of word list is n. So we are given n strings. Then here we iterate over at most n strings. For each of them we check n strings, and we check if they are similar in, so we have n times n, those two for loops. And function similar, it will go through all the characters of them. So that compares to strings in complexity L. This part is also L, because when you like push back something, when you push back string of length 100 somewhere, so you basically copy this string, then you have complexity of 100, of length of that string. The full thing I have is n squared times L. And I guess that this is too slow for this problem. I don't know that. I would need to make this code work, then submit. I think it would be a waste of time. There is alternative way to approach this thing. Instead of iterating over word list, imagine this. If you have a word hit, yes, you can go through your whole list of words and for each of them compare it with hit, or you can iterate over words that are similar to this, like AIT, BIT, CIT, and so on. The number of those similar words will be 26 multiplied by length, or actually 25. For every position, try to change this character into some other character, 25 possibilities. So the code would be something like that. For position that you want to change, let's say L denotes length of string S, then iterate over every possible new character, all from A to Z. If this is not equal to the current character there, no, this is not necessary. We could also consider an edge from my string to itself. If not this, then yeah, you have a new word. Just let's say S2 is S, S2 of position is this new character. CH, like car. And here we do this stuff. If not visited, then add it to a queue. Right? This is alternative implementation, where instead of going through all the strings, we for every string in our queue in BFS, we directly find what could be possible similar strings. One more thing though, we are not guaranteed that those are in the list. So we need to say that we need to add one more if S2 is in word list. And if I just try it like that for a vector of strings, word list being vector of strings, this would be very slow, linear. It would go check, compare with every string. It would be only worse than the previous. Remove the comment section. I mean, it has some advantages. Some people watch later and then it's better if they see the comment section. I can change the position though later. Let me finish the problem. Right, so this would be strictly worse than the previous solution. But if we say that this is now a hash map, or actually a set, hash set, let's call it word list set. So first we create such a set of strings, or unordered set, a hash set, word list set. Maybe I should remove a word list from this. Is equal, well, just convert from word list. There is a way to do it in C++, so let's do it. I think it's like this. Doesn't matter. Then this check becomes constant, not constant, of length of the string. And then total complexity is n. We still check every string. Then of n times. We iterate over position, that's L. We iterate over alphabet, that's, I will call it A, but we know that it is 26 in our problem. And we then check this. If this happens, then we do that. But it's not repeated. It's this operation and then this operation, so twice something. It's L. Instead of n square L, we got nl square A. And I guess, but without knowing constraints, it's hard to say. I guess that this is the intended complexity, and this is faster. There we could it could be given a lot of words. Kind of in real world, we would get 1 million words, and each of them, the average length would be 5 or 10, something like that. Then this is much faster. You don't want this n square factor, but you know, it's guessing. I assume that this is solution they expected. We don't have solution section here, but we can check this. Okay, they do BFS, I think, and then for every position, for every new character, if this is not in word list, then do this. This is exactly my solution. I think they didn't. Oh, yeah, they have unordered set. Could they do that? Is it automatically cast? I didn't know that. So apparently, if you here change type of this, no, I don't see how this would work. Can unordered set has one parameter? Yeah, I don't see what, I don't even know what is the second parameter. Second parameter would create a map, kind of. For sure, you can create it like that. Would you be up for doing a 2D matrix type problem? I mean, it's a very general question. A lot of problems use 2D matrix in the input or like as part of a solution, especially in dynamic programming. If you have a good suggestions, then sure, but I don't think there is a category 2D matrix. 2D matrix is more like a tool, like two-dimensional array, but I wouldn't say it affects thinking process a lot. Does it? Yeah. In competitive programming, by the way, I prefer to use set rather than unordered set because we care about worst case, not average case. And yes, if a test is very malicious and it will have a lot of hash collision, then our unordered set is slow, linear per query. Last week's contest, hardest contest in Leetcode. Only 20 people solved it. I didn't know that. Was there like a single very hard problem? I mean, the fact that 20 people solved it, it isn't that little, right? I would guess that 20 is around the number of people in Leetcode who know something about competitive programming, maybe not know something, who are good at competitive programming. I don't see a lot of reds from code forces participating in Leetcode. But if if the hardest problem takes people, what, 20 minutes to solve? I see. A lot of people not being in top 3 solved it in more than half an hour. That's hard. Do I know the problem? I'm curious now. I know that I shouldn't do this during a stream because, well, stream will do better if I solve something easier, but I'm curious. Help me to solve this question. Not now. Have you ever met Yui? Maybe in some finals of a competition. Knowledge on the job. Leetcode knowledge on the job. They don't use it. No. There is a different reason why coding interviews use such problem. It's because it's easy to compare people and their thinking ability, let's say. It's much harder to interview on a big scale if it would be about like small projects. You're given pairs. Let ways be the number of rooted trees that satisfy the following conditions. A pair xi is ancestor of y, x is ancestor of y, or the other way around. You need to check if there are at least two ways. It doesn't sound like a coding interview problem. I still think that Leetcode shouldn't, I feel that Leetcode is damaged by the fact that there are those regular competitions and they try to create some set of problems with particular difficulty instead of choosing just common interview problems and publish them. I think that this competition thing is in general a bad choice for a company. 1, 2, 2, 3. Can't it be 1, 2, 3? One above the other? Oh, if and only if. Those are the only pairs of ancestors. Then, in general case, I would say that the root will have most connections. And then everything else is split into groups. There are only 500 elements. That's low. If that's the case, I think I have a solution in complexity 100,000 times 500, but I don't know if that's fast enough. Might be too slow for Leetcode. I don't know. Here's what I'm thinking. How do I learn the AlgoDS knowledge needed for technical interviews? Practice, my dude. Practice. can open Leetcode, sort problems by difficulty, their number of accepted, anything like that. Try to solve a problem. If you cannot, read the tutorial. If it mentions some technique you don't know, Google that technique, read a tutorial about it. Okay. Yeah. If real tree is like this, let's say that wasn't proper font. Is, let's say, like that. Actually, I need letters. Is it a binary tree? Is it? How many Leetcode questions are enough? I mean, for funk interview, if you aren't good in the first place, then I would say 200. Like, you need to spend 2 or 3 months practicing hard. And then you have a chance. But no amount of practice will give you this job for sure, because there are just more people willing to do that than the number of spots. Yeah, does not have to be a binary tree, right? Need to consider that. Let's say that the tree is like that, right? I don't know how a tree is, but I'm given information about pairs ancestor descendant, like AG, AB, AC, and so on, all those pairs. Then I think, unless tree is a chain, if tree is a chain like this, C, A, D, B, then everything is connected to everything. If what's given in the input is a click, everything is pairs, ancestor, descendant, then just any such path will do the job, and n factorial is the answer. You can reorder them in any way in this chain. But otherwise, you have this situation, let's say. I mean, maybe it will be important what is such a path from the root up without extra edges. But if this is the situation, then A has the biggest degree, because it's connected to everything else. Maybe this. Vertex connected to everything else in the input. So it is pair ancestor descendant with everything. It will be a root. All right, so I know the root. I know, okay, it's A. And now if I ignore edges in the input between A and everything else, I will get some connected components. Like E, F, G will be connected, D will be connected, B, C will be connected. This way I will get such groups: D, E, F, G, and B, C. And I will go recursively for each of those groups. I need linear time to process like the input thing, and then I go down to smaller cases, and the complexity will be the number of pairs multiplied by the number of vertices, because this says how many times I will recursively go deeper. It takes me time p, the number of pairs, to consider the whole input and to find the root, split into smaller groups, and then v times I will recurse to something smaller. And they said that the number of pairs is up to 100,000 and number of vertices is up to 500. So in code forces, this would be good enough complexity. I don't know if they want something faster. If yes, then it's a hard problem. And one more thing, I said that what about bigger path from the root up? If this is the case, if we have A, then this, some vertex here, then all of them will have the same degree. They will be connected to everything. If I notice if I notice that 3 vertices are connected to everything else, then I will say that, yeah, 3 factorial is the number of ways to reorder them like this. Always find a vertex connected to everything else, like all those vertices. If there are k of them, multiply the answer by k factorial and go recursively down to smaller parts. Wrong answer on test 2 on both A and B. Oh, you mean other problems? That would be 800 rating problem on code forces. I mean, in code forces, this would be 1600, assuming that my complexity is good enough. But I think that this complexity isn't good enough. And maybe we should use the fact that we just need to return 0, 1, or 2. So now I think that they want this to get time limit exceeded. Should I use C to practice? You can, sure, why not? I mean, why not? Because C++ has better containers like set. But C is fine. How from this page to access editorial? Discuss, maybe this. I just want time complexity. No, they didn't mention it. Final complexity is number of edges times n. That would be my solution. But they say it can be improved, maybe. So maybe they do something harder, do they? Yeah, and also there's no solution. Why did you say that this is... Oh no, I thought that somebody said this has a lot of likes, but that's not true. It was just a difficult problem. Maybe we should use the fact that we need to just say if the answer is 0, 1, or bigger than that. Basically, you don't need n factorial. Just whenever you see 2 vertices with the same total degree, then you know that you can swap them, so you can finish already. Maybe we should use this. Somebody can tell me? Anybody here got accepted? Doesn't even check Leetcode notifications? I have hundreds of them. I don't think it's useful to check this. Same in HackerRank, actually. In HackerRank, I'm sure that I have thousands of notifications. Someone did it in Logan. Well, when we get to something smaller, we don't need to go for it again to find something with biggest degree. I can maybe split into 2 groups. There will be sets used there. But it's not a coding interview problem then. It's a code forces problem. If you have 6 elements and you know their degrees, because you're interested in the biggest degree, and you know that, okay, this guy has the biggest degree and only this one. And then they're split into connected components. What does it mean? How to make something faster there? Actually, it's not just connected components, it's more complicated. The next biggest degree, maybe it will be this one, it will be connected to some guys, and they create one connected component. Maybe sort everything by degrees, then go from biggest degree and mark your children, your basically descendants. Like when we later get to this one, we see, okay, it has those two children, then we do something with that. I don't know. I don't like solving a problem where I don't know if this is a good problem and it has a solution. So Snake Abbas said in the chat that somebody did it in nlog n, but I'm very blind here in terms of what should I use or what can I use. It actually helps a lot to know what a problem is. Like if it was code versus division division 1C, so a medium hard problem, then I would immediately start thinking about some complicated methods like dynamic connectivity or going backwards. Maybe going backwards makes sense. Something with smallest degree, will it be a leaf? It will be the most shallow leaf, right? I don't want to continue. I got something in complexity that I hope is good enough. 19 and dropout due to financial problems. I mean, if you're not a programmer, then don't assume that you can become a programmer very quick and you will be able to live this way. It isn't that easy. There are some coding bootcamps that will guarantee you a job in maybe 1 year. If you already know some programming, then like sure you can go kind of all in. Explain code versus divisions. It isn't hard. Division 1 is the highest. This is hard. Then there is division 2 and division 3. That's it. Explained. Division 3 was only recently introduced. Division 3 is for beginners, Division 2 is for most people who do competitive programming, and Division 1 is for best people. Geeks for geeks? I don't really use it too much. I don't have a computer science degree, no. But it's good. You learn about different kinds of programming and you meet people. Maybe now it's worse because everything's online. If it's online, then you don't really meet people. Don't see any Division 3 contests? They are there from time to time. But you can look at past problems. If you want to start with code versus, go to the problem set, sort by difficulty. One of those columns will work. This is by difficulty, and this is by the number of people who got accepted. Maybe difficulty is a bit better. So I want to sort increasingly and start solving like that. Then you will see if you can do any problems. You can also open any recent contest and you will see difficulty of those problems. Let's move on. I started from what? From checking out those lists. I really want to see what's here. Binary representation, DP, graphs. Does it include trees? Isn't tree a more basic graph? I would then put category of trees before graphs. At least I would do it. Okay, maybe that's not true. Trees are significantly different than graphs. They require different techniques. Intervals, linked lists. Linked list, by the way, is something that competitive programming will not help you much with, because we don't have linked list in competitive programming. There only computations matter, and then everybody uses arrays and vectors. Linked list is quite artificial structure, but useful in some cases. Matrix. I still think that matrix is a strange category. I wouldn't say that it's a good category of problems. String, then we have trees. But you know, maximum depth of a binary tree. Shouldn't this be before any graph problem? Especially clone graph. Clone graph isn't about graphs. It's about knowing your language and doing something with recursion. As the first, by the way, if you want to learn graphs, I would say the first problem should be find the size of connected component. So run DFS or BFS. This will be, I guess, DP on a tree, and also some stuff with BST. Then eventually we have heap, top K frequent, and median. I wonder if you're asked this, then you need to implement heap. No way, I think, no way. Then it's just about knowing what a heap is. Leetcode looks too decorative. And I don't think that's an issue. Do you know any other good lists of problems other than this? 14 patterns to ace any coding interview. Also, what about this? Is there... I will just read this. In place reversal of a linked list, but this is a single problem, not really no pattern. 3DFS, sure, 2 heaps. 2 heaps is very, like, it's not frequent. Top K elements. Okay, this is a bad list. Don't do it. I wonder what's the intersection of algo expert problems. They are here. How should I do it? If I look at single problem title, I will know what it will be about. Topological sort. Do we have any topological sort here? No. Dijkstra. But Dijkstra is more about learning it rather than a problem in itself. I don't think now you will get a problem implement Dijkstra in a big company. It will be more like you're given a problem. You need to first understand that it's about Dijkstra. Number of islands, and here we have remove islands. I don't know what that is. Some new problem. LCS. I think LCS was here, right? Yeah, longest common subsequence. It was there. They also have increasing in very hard problems. Wait, what? In graph, longest consecutive sequence? Okay. I thought that it's... Wait. So I thought that it's about longest common subsequence, which is another problem. This is not a graph problem. I don't know why is it here. Yeah, why is it here? Some other links, SDE problems. By Striver. But how is it good? Also, why 40 people are seeing this right now? Everybody in the chat clicked or what? Only start doing these problems if you feel comfortable with solving basic problems of the essay. Once you are, you can start preparing for these problems. Right, so it's more like a collection of problems to which he made a video for. Sorry, that was very loud for me. I mean, of course, he could possibly choose problems well for videos. All right, I don't trust this list unless I learn how this list of problems was chosen. Do you even convert top-down DP to bottom-up? I don't even remember what those words mean. Let's see. Top-down is the one with recursion, right? Then no, I just think iteratively immediately. It's easier. So no, I don't convert. List of questions asked in Google interview this year. What about, you mean the previous year? I see 2020. Also, I see part 2. How good is this confirmed? Is it a single person will say that they saw this problem, and then immediately the problem will go to this list? You can check this list also. All right. It isn't hard for me, given a topic, to find problems for this topic, like a sliding window. Especially because like most of them are tagged properly. So I think using Leetcode you can find them, and using Google search you can find them. It's more that solved all dynamic programming DP problems in 7 months. Okay, this is not interesting to me at all. What I need is a way to choose valuable problems. If I decide to make a video on sliding window, I will be able to find 5 or 10 sliding window problems in Leetcode. But I want, let's say, 100 for streams or for YouTube videos, 100 good problems. These were asked to a single candidate. He made that list. Wait, what? One person was asked 29 problems? How? Maybe? During on-sites, you have like 5 rounds. If in each of them you have 2 problems, it's 10 in total. No, no way. You aren't asked 30 problems. And that is only part 2, indeed. I agree with Mark Zuckerberg in the chat. How do I earn money for a living? By programming. I turned on ads for some YouTube videos yesterday. I'm going to earn money. For the past year or so, I didn't have any ads. What about this? Interview questions easy. All right. This was suggested to me too. Like in Leetcode Explorer, there is this collection of easy problems. I think you need to hit more. Yeah, top interview questions, easy collection. This Explorer is a mess. Easy collection. Is there a hard collection? Medium collection, top interview questions. There is this stuff, and each of them contains like 10 categories. Sorting and searching. I also want something, well organized and catchy in terms of just the title. Obviously, I want my streams to be highly viewed by everybody. Top interview questions. That's such a vague name, but I guess if I solve problems from this list, then I can call it top interview questions. Let's see what this is. Arrays and strings. There is this longest palindromic substring in quadratic or linear time. Yeah, okay, in quadratic. Then that's fine. Increasing triplet subsequence in quadratic time, right? No, wait, in linear. Oh, I see. Right. You will see me opening a problem for 5 to 10 seconds just because I saw something similar, or it's obvious for me what the solution is. Intersection, add two numbers represented by digits, right? Yep. Please look at this. Interview bit courses. I saw this a long time ago. And when checking this out, it was very annoying to do these jumps, I remember. Maybe it was another platform. When I do this research on courses and lists of problems and so on, then always I want to see the full list, and some platforms, well, it's not a bad choice for consumers to then see the first problem and then get another one. But when I just want to find a good list of problems, then this is very annoying. Okay, but here we have this. That's fine. I don't think that interview bit currently is a platform to go. Right, but again, this only solves a problem of finding problems for a particular topic. So you can jump without solving. Yeah, I confused it with some other platform. Sorry. In some other platform, it used to be very hard to see a list of problems. Concise list, tech interview handbook. Is this the one? Is this something by a guy who announced on Code Forces? If this is for free, then I'm happy to join. Then I'm happy to promote it a little bit if it's good. Carefully curated content to help you ace your next technical interview with focus on algorithms. Okay, graph. Well, it can be a very good free resource. It gives you overview of, for example, graph algorithms. I see only DFS and BFS here. What about this? Well, this is a long link. Also looks fishy. Final 450. This is you gave me a link to something that I already opened there. It's too long, and so it isn't for sure a list of good problems. If somebody's new, if somebody has just joined, I'm looking for a good list of problems to make streams based on. Why don't go for a job at Google? Why should I? Why does he not want to go to Fang? Why should I? I see that is a very common thing in the chat. I already answered it many times. Check this out. For money? Yeah, so, and what then will I do with the money? I mean, do you think life is that much better if you earn $10,000 a month instead of $5,000 a month? And I don't even earn that, to be honest. I'm becoming more sarcastic. Maybe just I'm becoming more comfortable while streaming. Salary confirmed. No, I don't earn $5,000. Right? Yeah, I earn less than that. I'm able to earn more than that. The best I earned in a job is something equivalent to $10,000 a month though, but it was much shorter period of time. Maybe this, but say a few words about this. What is that? Junior training. Is this by Mustafa? Yeah, by Mustafa. Okay, then no, this is for competitive programming. It's not for coding interviews. All right, this is a cool website. I think I saw it some time ago, so I will just call it cool website in the chat. You can check it out later if you want. For sure, it isn't valuable for me in terms of good problems. For now, still the best I found is this one. I don't know exactly what's the source of that. Blind is a company. Blind is a company with some kind of hidden information, right? That you pay for. Also, I don't like how this chat is off by a few pixels every time I stream. The blind curated thing is like from this website, and it's confirmed by whom? By interviewers or interviewees? Blind is like Glassdoor. Right, but do you know how this list was created? Earn money and open Erector Foundation for unprivileged students? Oh yeah, there are ways to spend money. There was some small period of time when I thought that actually I don't need money and I would be fine earning $1,000 a month, but I don't think so anymore. You need to support your family well, and you need to charity is also cool if you choose it well. List was from the blind forum. Yeah, but like it's a list of problems mentioned at least once on the blind forum. Facebook engineer that did a crazy amount of problems and he picked the ones that he thought were most beneficial in his study. That's something. My typing speed 100 words per minute. See this original post. Oh, maybe that's good. But that mentions 100, not 75. I think I, by the way, have a blind account. It told me a moment ago that I need account to read more than 4 articles. I did some sponsorship for blind. Or maybe it wasn't actually blind, it was some new service of theirs. For, what was it for? For leads? For big companies? Maybe one of you remembers. It was like 2 years ago. Okay, 75, so it's that. Just looking at the link, I thought it's 100. It says 100 here in the link. Best Leetcode questions that teach you core concepts. All right. It's a list of educational problems, not necessarily list of problems that are frequent. Yeah, heap, then 3 problems. It's exactly this list. That's the source. That's something. Now, this list is the same. Now this one, is this the same with that? ToSum, longest substring. Oh, I don't see longest substring. Without repeating. Okay, I think it's the same, just in different order. Let's see something that doesn't look common. House robbery is common. Design add. Design. Oh, it's not the same. So those are 2 different lists. And just by coincidence, they have the same number of problems. +1, maybe I hit the only one Pacific Atlantic water flow. Okay, it is here. I should actually grab both lists, sort them in any tool, and then compare. Should we do that? No. When did I start competitive programming? 10 years ago? Maybe 11. Top 100 Leetcode companies sorted questions. I should make a new website with new service where I sell you this list of 75 sorted problems. Right. I don't want topics, and I hope that I'm able to sort it here. No, this is not sorting. No. Is there a sort here? What do you think about Instagram developers? You mean people who work for Instagram? Or what? You want 69 sorted problems? Yes, just let's remove 6 of them. You can sort with function sort. I don't know how to do that. Okay, I know how to do that. Thank you. Right, we have a sorted list, and this was already sorted, right? Maybe not. Don't tell me that it will have and search word. This is another missing problem. Wait. Is this the same one? If yes, then maybe they are the same. Yes, they are the same. It was just a different name. And if I copy like that, I will have numbers, and I need to do something special. Okay, that's bad. Maximum depth. I wasted some time. Maximum depth is here. Okay, I assume that is the same. Boring stream. Yeah, sorry about that. I used to do boring streams, and still some people watch them. I literally called them boring programming streams. Still, I like this list because it's just a list of very common problems. At least they used to be common, so I can make videos on them. The fact that they are educational, it's fine. So I don't know. I don't think that you will find those bubble sort, insertion sort, selection sort in this list. Is there any sort? No. So it's not the same. It's not that similar with Algo Expert problem set. I was just curious if Algo Expert just took those very common problems. Okay, this, I don't want that, too many problems. Any resources on system design? I don't have recommendations, but you need to know system design. Scroll down the blind page and read the first chat. What's the basis? I did 400 questions last time, and distilled the most useful questions from my experience. Yeah, that's meaningful information. Tech lead wrote that. Maybe it's that tech lead. I solved 150 problems. I have done 500 and approve of this. Hacking algorithm 3 English. That's an interesting link. Different kinds of algorithmic thinking. There is so much content in the internet about algorithms, isn't it? Must read series. Damn it. I already spent a lot of time in past 2 years reading such articles in the internet, but just I'm finding more and more of them. I used to just add them to bookmarks. I don't think I will ever have time to go through everything in the internet. And I still have some that I didn't read and I want to. This looks like a collection of a lot of articles. Like, what is optimal substructure for DP? Can you post that link? Sure thing. Link. So this is collection of articles. You could mine the list somehow? You mean grab all the links? Yeah, like... Anyway, I need time to read every article, so I can as well just see this and open links one by one. Do problems from Geeks for Geeks? Nah. I don't think they have common interview problems. But they have tutorials on some algorithms, like be connected components. Here, help you fuck algorithms? That's so much to read. I mean, I understand most of that instantly. First, sure, we show a solution for just finding a number in increasing sequence of values, and we try to find it. Usually here we return that we found the target value. If it's smaller than that, go to the right. If not, then go to the left. That's easy. Actually, I don't fully agree with this. I would say that this is not dots. This is exactly mid plus 1. Oh, okay. They just... I see. So they said that let's fix that later, and they did here. I don't fully agree with the template, but I see what they're doing. Then find the left border, find the right border, sure. There are different ways to approach that. I spent in total maybe 20 hours reading about binary search, comparing different implementations. Some of that was during streams. Start with some problems. Yeah, it's okay. Enough of this. My wife does Leetcode better than me. She's not software engineer and does not know how to code. Well, that's an interesting story. All right, I didn't find anything better than this list, which I think is equal to the sorted list I had. Here, I don't believe this guy. He didn't get 30 problems in like one interview, especially only in second part. Is that here again? I don't know if this is good. Just somebody took their own videos and made a list of them. And I don't need a list of problems like that. Now, let's solve some problems. Thanks for streaming on YouTube. You are welcome. Warm up DP for your taste. Binarysearch.com. Mini moves. I'm looking at the chat, and I guess this will be confusing for you because of two chats. Tutorials for machine learning? Nope. I'm good at algorithms, so I will teach you algorithms. Same thing. I could learn some system design and teach on my YouTube. I'm sure I would get views, but that's not the point. You know, the world will be most efficient if everybody specializes in something and teaches other people that. So I'm not going to branch into machine learning or system design, even though maybe maybe a lot of people want that. Minimum moves to make array complementary. Let's see. This was suggested by somebody in the chat. Array of even length and some integer limit. You can replace an integer with another integer within this limit, from 1 to limit. Sounds trivial to me. Let's see. I have an array 1, 2, 4, 3. I want to have equal sums. First number plus last, second plus second last, and so on. Right now it isn't the case. I have 2 plus 4 and I have 1 plus 3. Those are different numbers. But I can change one of them to make equality happen. Can link to 75 problems. Here you go. 75 problems. But this is not the only link. There was also one with the same problem list, just split into categories. Learning machine learning algorithms from scratch. Yeah, it would be entertaining, I guess, but I don't think it will be educational. I don't see how me learning machine learning will be different than me streaming playing a video game. Right. So we have 1, 2, 4, 3, and I want this pair, like elements AA, to be equal to elements BB. And in this case, it's enough to just fix a single number. I want to have 6 and 6, or 4 and 4. I think we should change to 2 in one operation. Then we're good. The sum is 4. The sum is 4. But there will be cases where we need more changes, and apparently that's the case. Array is this 1, 2, 2, 1. The sum of two middle elements is 4. The sum of two out elements is 2. Send the link of 75 problems. You can always just Google the title of something. I guess this will. Okay, I have that in history, so I will just copy the link. Also, you can move back in time, stuff like that. Oh, somebody copy pasted. Whatever. We have a limit, and we need only numbers from 1 to 2. You cannot, in one operation, fix this. We could fix it by changing 2 into 0, but that's not allowed. And then we need 2 operations. Can we handle everything? Like for n equal to 4, there are 2 pairs, 2 middle elements versus 2 out elements. Can we always do it in 2 operations? N is up to 100,000. And why is it true that we can do in 2 operations? Oh, because no matter what those 2 elements are, x and y, I can change those 2 into x and y. One possibility is, so if I want some s, first and last number will have some s, and so on and so on, then for every pair, by every pair I mean first with last, second with second last, and so on. If their sum, x plus y, is already s, then nothing. If it's enough to change one element, then answer plus equal 1, answer in this case, and otherwise plus 2. When I cannot change one element. How to change this? How to check this? That will be not very difficult. If I have current numbers x and y and I want to get s, then I know the difference. So for this I will say difference is s minus x plus y. It tells me by how much I need to increase or decrease x and y, one of them, and I just check if I can do it. Let's say that difference is 2. Then I check if x or y can be increased by 2. If x plus 2 is up to limit or y plus 2 is up to limit. Oh, easy. Well, this solution works in time of number of possible values, let's call it v, multiplied number of pairs, n over 2. For every value s, for every possible sum s that I want to get, iterate over n pairs. But it is too slow. You cannot have 100,000 square. And now it's time to think. I shouldn't have said it sounds easy or sounds trivial. It isn't trivial. Do all kinds of videos like George Hotz, but again, it's very important for me to do what I'm good at. George Hotz does a lot of strange stuff. Like one day he checked out HackerRank, the other day he hacked some cars. Sure, but I don't do entertainment, I do educational videos. So I'm answering to Jello Tra Shivam. I will not broaden my scope. I'm teaching you guys about something I'm very good at. Let's leave it like this. I already have too much to do because I stream 3 times a week. It's once very hard at coder problems, once coding interview problems on every Thursday, and on weekends I do code forces, medium range problems. Actually, I don't want more streams. It's not that I need new areas. No. Like once every time, yeah, I can do something, but for sure not regularly, not by default. You can binary search over the answer, like Shai. I thought about it. It isn't obvious for me. It's more like ternary search. Oh, because if we try to get very low sum, like s equal to 2, that's the lowest possibility. We need to check everything from 2 up to twice the limit. The limit is limit for a single value, so the sum of 2 values can be twice that. If we try too low, it might be hard because we need to change a lot of values. If we try too hard, it might be hard as well. And then it seems reasonable to try to find something in the middle. I would say that we need ternary search for that. But maybe, instead of doing that, we aren't sure now what that would be. It's hard to say if we are too low. You will understand that some pairs you can do in with one operation, but it's hard to say that some pair would, let's say, appreciate bigger value more. So let's focus on this. If I'm not given s, then I guess that anyway, looking at pair xy, I can say what the answer will be depending on s. Let's look at example to see what I mean by that. Maybe first this. When you see too slow solution, and this is too slow, this is for every s, try this for every pair. You need to speed up a single for loop. You need to get rid of a single for loop. And I think that for sure I need to iterate over those existing pairs. Then let's try not to iterate over some s. Why don't you go to research field in algorithms? I considered that. It's a complicated thing. Like if we had 1 hour and a few beers, I could talk about it. You know, research would be fine, especially if they let me do it without going through masters. I studied for a few years and university was fine, but I didn't do all the subjects. I aced some subject, I failed some, just because I didn't care about them. All right, let's say that limit is 10 and x is 4, y is 8. We see a pair, 4, 8. then depending on s, like if s is 12, then we need 0 operations. But what about other s's? Well, y allows us to increase by 2 or decrease by up to 7. We are allowed numbers from 1 to 10. So we can decrease by 7, increase by 2. That at most. But if we look at x, we see that we can decrease by 3 in one operation or increase by 6. I will say that actually this is what I can do. I can decrease by 7, increase by 6. Or in other words, because this initial sum is 12, what I can get anything in interval from what? Decrease by 7, 12 minus 7 would be 5. 12 plus 6, the amount by which I increase, would be 8. Not would be, it is. Other way to compute this interval is to say, well, 4 plus 1 would be 5. Again, would be. 4 plus 1 is 5. 8 plus 10 is 18. And that's the least and the biggest we can get in one operation. CodeChef review streams when I have time. It isn't a priority for me. All right. Now, if s in 518, then one operation. By this I mean, well, first if it's 12, then 0 operations. If this, then one operation. And otherwise, 2 operations. And if you have some experience, you will know how to speed this up. For every pair, we can in constant time compute those requirements for s, and we'll say that at 12 we don't have any operations, at this interval we have 1. Actually, I will break it down into 2 intervals, from 5 to 11 or from 13 to 18. So it's 5 to 18 without 12. And otherwise is just from 2 to 4, the smallest possible sum of 2 positive values is 2, or 19 to 20. You need to say that if sum is in this range, then you have 2 operations. You can make this with a for loop. You can first create an array of size 2n, so int answer in that case, something like that. Then for every pair, when you see this, you will go from 5 to 11 and increase that answer in that case by 1. Iterate over that, increase by 1. Iterate over this, increase by 2. And this still will be slow, n times a limit, but we can speed this up with prefix sums. When you want to increase an array in some range by value x, it's enough to do this. This array at r plus equal x, array at l minus 1 plus equal x. Sorry. Minus equal. And then after doing all of that for everything, just go once from left to right and compute prefix sums. So this kind of says at position L, I add x, and it will be propagated to the right and eventually cancelled here. This is called, I don't know, dynamic prefix sums, running sums, something like that. So easy. And now this is a good solution. The whole thing is of limit plus n, the number of pairs. We need to create this array that full with zeros. Then we consider every pair xy. We compute in constant time for every pair those intervals, and we add 1 or 2 on particular interval in constant time. After all of that, so kind of again we go through the array while computing prefix sums, and then for every sum that we want to get, we will know exactly what's the number of operations needed. You love me? Oh, thank you, but I don't know if my girlfriend will appreciate that. Thank you for the stream. You are welcome. How much time did you spend before seeing the solution? In any question in your early days? It happened to me to spend a few days to solve a problem, but then I knew it is a difficult problem. You know, I'm just a human, but I spent many more years than you on this. Also, I spent a lot of years on math, including math competitions. And that's it. That's the solution. Are there questions? Have I tried HackerRank? Yes. HackerRank is a mix of competitive programming and coding interviews, so I don't really recommend it. For same reason, binarysearch.io, it's a strange mix. It's like coding interview problems, but more interesting ones, often more difficult. And for sure, it is not good for beginners. Maybe it's good if you want to practice problem solving, you're already good and you keep preparing for coding interviews. Let's try to keep English in the chat. Even in Polish, I appreciate nice comments, but let's use English. Thank you, though. Meet up with us, your followers, not this year. And where would it be? Will you all go to Warsaw? Yes, I use GDB. Next problem. Let's do something recent. Want to be like me? Well, then first, like 10 years of math, then 10 years of programming, and you will be there. Not everybody needs to excel at everything. No? I'm good at algorithms, but then I'm not that good at normal software engineering job. What should we do? Something easy, medium, hard? Chat, tell me. First few answers I will consider. I mean, just say the difficulty that you want. Easy, medium, hard. Yes, I was in Romania. Twice? Once in Petra Neamț, and I don't know if I was there second time. At least one, it was for COI. Medium, right, medium it is. Can you show me how to approach easy problems on DP category? Go to YouTube and type Aristo dynamic programming. Watch this, lecture number 1, then watch this, lecture number 2, then watch lecture number 3. Can you check out search in rotated sorted array? I think I already did it in the past. You can check some old binary search streams or videos of mine. Right, medium problem. Minimize Hamming distance after swap operations. Swapping nodes in linked list. We can do a linked list. And it will be something I might struggle with because I keep forgetting the syntax. Please discuss this. No, I will not touch some very old HackerRank problems now. Just read this once, you may like it. Okay, I will read it, but that's it. You're given a list of candies. Eating... Okay, so eating candy I will give you a product of 3 values. Return the maximum number of points you can get. Should we go backwards? Yeah, go backwards, DP on intervals is and cubic. So easy for me, hard and bad for coding interviews. Okay. I'm good at such problems. Did you actually do 10 years of math? I mean, yes, I did. In school. I had what it's called individual course of studying math. I was ahead of my class. When I was in 7th grade, I did math for 10th grade. And it was official. There is such a thing in Poland. I just did maths from few years ahead, and I did competitions. During, let's say, biology lessons, I would still do math. I mean, okay, that part wasn't official. I didn't care about biology, and I kept solving math problems. So, I'm good now because I didn't care about other subjects, kind of. Doesn't mean that you should not care about biology. You should care enough to pass. You're given head of a linked list and integer k. Swap kth node from the beginning with kth node from the end. Any requirements about space? And this problem would be very stupid for competitive programming, because in terms of efficiency, you can as well, transform this into an array, then run swap, and then if needed, it's stupid that we again need to return list node. In code forces, you would print that array, but sure, you can transform it back to list node. The only thing that would prevent you from not transforming into an array is time or space complexity requirement smaller than O of n. If this problem can be solved faster than that, then that's the thing. And yeah, it can be, because what can we do in constant space? Let's try to get O of 1 space. I don't know if that's the requirement, but let's try. Do I know about the mitochondria? It's powerhouse of a cell, right? Mitochondria is a battery, or not battery, power engine for a cell. Or is it responsible for multiplying cells? Who cares, right? Was my girlfriend in the same university as yours? Same university, but different faculty. So we weren't in the same building. Yeah, biology easy. What now? Give me chemistry question. My board will help me. You want to know how drawing for C2OH7 looks like? You will not find it here because this is wrong. Right? I think this is wrong. Yeah. No. I think this is right. Is there something wrong with that? C has 4 edges. O has... Shouldn't O have 2 edges? I don't know. O should have 1? Only 1? Oh, it's alcohol, I guess. Oh yeah, it is some kind of alcohol. That's true. I know because we checked one stream. All right, if you want O of 1 space complexity, what can you do? You can, for example, find size of a list in constant space complexity by just doing something like that. Say node is equal to head first. While this is not null, move to the next node. There is next, and size plus plus. This way you can compute the size. That's the most basic thing you can do with linked list. When you first meet linked list, don't try to reverse it. Find the size. Okay, that's the most basic thing. Then the next thing we can do is find kth element. How to do it? Start with the head and then repeat k times, or k minus 1 times. Move forward. What do I want to do on this? Right. We can do this, and that's basic. This allows us to find kth node from the beginning in constant space. And linear time. For sure we need linear time, otherwise you wouldn't be able to access kth node. And there is also an algorithm to find kth node from the end. And it's well-known algorithm. There is some other Leetcode problem for that. But if you don't know it, I don't think you will come up with it during a coding interview. It's hard. there's a series of problems based on 2 pointers in linked list. It's something different than 2 pointers, I would say, in an array. Also check that k is smaller than size. I'm sure they guarantee that. Here you see k is smaller equal n. Whenever it's possible that k exceeds something and that the input is invalid, they would need to tell us what they expect to happen. Like throw an error, anything like that. But actually I can just run my code and, I mean, if you want in a problem online to validate the input, you need, and this will be judged automatically, you would need to specify what should happen, what error should be raised, or like exception. 2 pointers, fast and slow. Fast and slow are to find middle of something. Fast and slow are to find cycle size as well, for a different reason. That's more complicated. But here we'll do just 2 pointers that are in proper distance from each other. You see, wait, what, drawing? Yeah, let's do drawing. Let's say that we have our linked list. Initially, you don't see the full list, you don't know where the end is. But let's say that you want to find something that is 3 nodes away from the end. Then, well, what we can do is know that this is the head, and let's say for me it's pointer A. This is pointer 3 units away, B. And we can do this. If next is null, this is the end of the list, then I will say that k last, or let's say distance k from the end, is A, and I return it. What can I do otherwise? Well, I need to move B here. And then if B points to null, then I would need to return this guy, A next. But I will not anymore need this first vertex. So what about moving A here? Now again, A and B are at distance 3 from each other. And if B next is null, like here, then we say A is the answer. Kth node from the end. Otherwise, if this is not null, if this is a real vertex, then move B here, move A there, always maintain them k units from each other, and if this points to null, oh cool, finally I found the end of the list, return A. And that's it. And that's it. How to find kth last element from the end, plus minus 1. Like you need to be careful, maybe you need distance k minus 1. Once you find this kth element, which is a useful part, you say this. You have, let's say, A initially starts as the head, B starts as kth element that you already found, and we talked about that, and then, well, B next is not null, A is A next and B is B next. And now at the end, B apparently saw null as the next, and A is k units away, or k minus 1 units away. This would return k last from the end. Some people just swap the values of the nodes, not the pointers. We can talk about that. What are your friends Mateusz and Beginward up to? Day jobs, something else? I don't know if that's like public. Should I really talk about lives and job decisions of my friends? I mean, some of that is public. So Mateusz is still studying. He's a college student. And Beginward is like still studying, but what is it? I think he did masters. Anyway, he's still in the university, also partially teaching there. Sorry, I don't know English names for stuff. I have a car. My car is worth like $1,500. My PC is more expensive than my car. Heron Tortoise moving the yeah. So Heron Tortoise is the one where one moves twice faster. All right. So here we found kth element, and now kth last element is this new a, so we know those two. Now we need to swap them. And what is that about? This is a confusing part. Like, I don't like those problems because of that. In competitive programming, you never need that because it's just about data format. It's not about fast computations. So it sucks. When you have one node, should I use different colors? When you have one node, it points to something else. Also, it is pointed at by something, but you don't actually know by what. You don't have a previous link. Then you have this, some other guy, also it's pointed at something, and now you want to change them. What does it mean exactly? Well, one thing is that if you see value x here and y there, you can swap those values. If this is what's required to create a new list where just values, two values are swapped, then sure, just swap x and y. Maybe a problem asks us to really swap pointers, like to more literally swap this, like in memory. It would require us to properly understand a linked list, so I don't like such problems. But what we can do is, assuming that we know the previous two guys, but we need to know them, then you can relink stuff. Then you can do say that this is an edge. Oh, it destroys this one. This new pink edge is just this node next. The pink one destroys this. And also like do this, which destroys this edge. And obviously this destroys that. This destroys that. This shows that to swap two vertices, we don't really need to know them, but we need to know their previous vertices, previous nodes, because we will need to do something already for them. And if we know these two, then of course in constant time I can get their next and next. So turns out that what we really need, if we want to swap pointers, is to find k minus first node, and from the end k minus, so k plus first. Let's say if k is, say k is 4, then we need to find third node and k plus fifth. What if one solves all 1700 Leetcode questions? Is it sufficient for placements? I mean, yes. If you really solve them, it's not that root solution for every problem. Are there stats? But I didn't solve all Leetcode problems. I could, sure. Like, it's not that some problem I just couldn't solve. I solved 171. If you want to know how is it to solve all the problems on Leetcode, ask Alex. Did he solve all? Nope, he's a pussy. He didn't solve 50. There's like 1750, right? Oh, sorry, 1724. So he didn't solve 18. I bet that those are just recent problems. So yeah, ask him. Anyway, yeah, it's a waste of time if you solve 1700, yeah, just for sake of preparing for a coding interview. The stream just turned R-rated. I mean, well, he didn't solve all problems, right? Okay, he's weak. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of swearing, at least excessive swearing. Sometimes just a phrase is very common, and it's not that it has that negative of a meaning. By the way, if you can say that somebody is a dick, and I don't think that's that bad to say, then, you know, it's only progressive to use female words as well. Do I need to pay to use Leetcode? I mean, if I want premium, then yes, I need to. I don't have any deal with Leetcode. Hydrate, good. Yeah, I will grab water. I need to make commands for hydrate and posture check. Posture? Posture. Thank you, ProxyKing. It's a very healthy reminder. What was I saying? Yeah, don't solve more than 500 problems on Leetcode if you prepare for interviews. It's more about deeply understanding something. But solving 2 problems a day, let's say not easy problems, for 2 months, that will give you 120 problems. Like 1700 is a crazy amount. You are able to do it only if you are good at it already, because then you will not take that much time. But if you're good, then you don't need to solve them. It's fine if this is a hobby for you. You're good at it, you want to practice it. And this is what Alex did. But it's not that he did it to get a job. He already can get a job. That's why he was able to do it. Chair revealed. I'm sure you saw my chair multiple times. It's ergo human something. Yes, I do play games. That was this problem. Maybe for the next problem, let's do some coding, because today I keep skipping implementation part. I'm just checking out recent problems. Count good meals with low accuracy. What is that? Interesting title. Difficulty of a job schedule, reverse nodes in K groups. What is reverse nodes? Maybe it's similar to linked list. Reverse the nodes of a linked list K at a time. I mean, yeah, it's just harder version of reversing a list. Not today. DP, please. All right, let's do a hard DP problem, if I like it. So I'm not guaranteeing that I will do it. Oh, and the link wasn't updated. Now it is. Let's try this. There are days. Jobs are dependent. I've job before J before I. What? No, you need to do them in this order. J before I. So 7 before 8. You have to finish at least 1 task every day. Difficulty of a day is maximum difficulty of a job done in that day. If you do jobs with difficulty 7, 5, 4, 7 will be taken as difficulty of a whole day. Return the minimum difficulty of a job schedule. I wouldn't say that it's a hard problem. Or wait, maybe it is. I think I missed something. Let's see. All right. If difficulties of jobs are 7 through 1, and I want to do them in 2 days, can't I just do everything in 1 day? Okay, I need at least 1 job per every day. Is it DP? Shouldn't I just sort them and easiest jobs do in 1 day? Oh, I cannot sort. Right. Okay, never mind. So when we have this, I need to split this into 6 days. 6 is a lot. But I think I would want to avoid 333, maybe. I'm not sure how many jobs there are. 8. 8 jobs, 6 days. What about this split? This will be day 1. This will be day 2. If I just do this, I think that this is a bad example. Oh, and then bigger intervals. Okay, it isn't obvious for me what should be preferred. Let's try to create one interval of jobs. Every day you will eat some interval of jobs. I just want to analyze on paper. Normally I would do it with pen and paper. What's the answer for this test? Whether I understand the problem correctly. So this will be a single day, and this is a single day, single day, single day, and so on. The sum of this would be, I need to stop saying would be, that. And difficulty of the last day is maximum of those three values. That's 444. 843. Okay, that's one of correct outputs. If values were sorted or anything like that, then greedy would make sense. We would figure out some way to do it optimally. But if not, then when you see some first two numbers, like 50 and 80, and then there is something and you don't know that yet. You don't, and you have like d equal to 3. You will not know if 50 should be its own interval or 50 should go with 80. For sure, you can figure out some sequences, like suffix of the sequence, so that it would be optimal to take 50 alone or 50 along with 80. You cannot make decisions greedily here. And whenever greedy doesn't work for any kind of split, scheduling, then it's dynamic programming. And yeah, like when we are done with prefix 5080, then we can split here. We can have a split here. And if that's the case, then it's also important whether we split there. Maybe let's look at it more globally. You have a sequence. Let's say that I already went through some prefix of the sequence, and I'm right now here. Let's say that I put a split there. Then, not that I care exactly how I split this prefix. Two important things are how many splits I already used, or also, in other words, how many days I scheduled, and what's the total penalty, total difficulty, so score so far. That this is the sum of maximums in intervals. Like, if this is one possibility to split into 3 intervals with 2 splits so far, and this is another one, then I don't need to consider 2 separately. I just want a better one of them. For every number of splits, I want the best score so far. So always in DP, and also that was for particular last split, for I, the current position. So for every I, and for every the number of splits so far, I want the best score to achieve that. So this I define as the smallest possible score so far, if I'm at position I and there were that many splits. D is small, so this will be small. Length up to 300. Yeah. The simplest solution here with transitions, maybe first. The number of states, also space complexity of my solution is the number of days. I will call it n, but it's here job difficulty length, multiplied by the number of splits. That's D. Right? What is D? The number of days. All right. This is space complexity, and for each of those states, I have, let's say I want to move from I to the next state. Then the next split can be anywhere here. I can iterate over the next I. That's n possibilities. Or also, to compute this, you can iterate over where the previous split was. But this is fast enough. 300, even cubic would be fine. 300 square multiplied by 10, it's only better. Few problems are just too basic for him and he still explained patiently. I like dynamic programming. Wow, I didn't understand a thing. Now, that's not something I like to hear when I explain stuff, but I cannot do introduction to dynamic programming every time when I solve a DP problem. On my YouTube channel, watch dynamic programming lectures. Starting with this one. I there explained, not save, sure. I explained how I think about dynamic programming. So whenever I do that during streams, it's the same pattern, let's say. Worried for me because of worship comments? I didn't meet anything negative because of this worship. Maybe like too much of it is just spam, but as long as it isn't a problem, then whatever. Let's implement this. That's the definition. I mean, the definition is dp of I splits is the best score so far if you are at position I and you did that many splits. Well, let's change this a little bit to the number of intervals used. And in total, you want d of them. I want two-dimensional array of size n. I will rename the array from job difficulty to A. I know that job difficulty is better name, but A is better for typing. Of size n plus 1, or maybe n, I will think about it, by d plus 1. That's for sure, because I need indices from 0 to d, including d. I'm not yet sure about this. I for sure want to say that dp of 0, 0 is 0. I can start here. I will say that there is a split there, like before position 0. We start before a of 0. So apparently dp of I will denote something before index I. dp of n-1 will denote a split just before a of n-1. So dp of n will denote something after n-1. At the end, I will return dp of n d. So you see, it wasn't obvious for me what should be the indexing, but I could rationalize this. I could talk about it. And then this shows that we should have indices from 0 to n. So array size is n plus 1 by d plus 1. This is 0, but everything else should be like impossible to achieve. What do? Minimize? Yes, so by default, I will fill this with infinities, and I like to make billion 5 my infinity. Int max is bad because when you add two of them together, it overflows int. Doesn't matter for Python though. In Python, you can just conveniently use inf, though Python is slower. Count intervals. I will here iterate only up to d minus 1 because that's because, well, if I didn't finish yet, then I still need at least one more interval. So I got to dp of I and count intervals. I don't like this name, so let's just say count, or maybe days. Days is a good name. Days refer to the number of intervals. Every day represents one interval. And what now? From this, I want to consider where the next split, where the next bar is. We know that I is the first day. No, I is the first job in this new day. And I iterate over the last job. I say everything from I to j. Then dp of j plus 1 and something. It meant something before a of j plus 1. Indeed, I take things up to a of j. So interval from a of j, from a of I to a of j. And count intervals is increased by 1. This thing is what? We minimize. We minimize it with itself and dp of I days plus the maximum in interval. And max interval, you can go through elements and I'll compute this now, but as you go from I and you see elements 7, 4, 10, you can just maintain maximum so far. Then this is max interval. And maybe the only other thing is if this state is impossible, then continue. If this is impossible at the end, then return -1, else return this value. Good. Did you read the book titled Competitive Programmer's Handbook? Yes, part of it, including streams. Itself, by itself I mean this. So when you see that this state is possible with score 10 so far, then you can do some interval and maximum there is 7. You need to say that this new state has value 70, unless you already found better value there. And it's very easy to confirm what the time complexity is, because you just see for loops n times d times n. That's it. It's trivial. With recursion, it isn't that trivial. All right. I think that will be everything for today. We solved some problems. We checked out some lists of interesting or just not interesting problems. For another coding interview stream, see you next Thursday. And on Saturday, likely, as always, I will make a code versus problem solving stream. One more thing I'm considering is to maybe from time to time stream on the main channel, because I have 2 YouTube channels, if you don't know that. The first one is big, 200,000 subscribers. Some videos have really like 2 million views even. And some of that is short educational videos, but also eventually, let's be honest, I want to also earn some money sometimes. And this channel, I want this to give me some money eventually. Like for now, it wasn't really a good source of that. So I think maybe stick there to some easier topics, and maybe like every 2 weeks there is that bi-weekly Leetcode contest in my afternoon, because the weekly Leetcode contest is in the evening, so it's bad. I mean, not in the evening, middle of the night, like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Actually, let me check. Clist.by is a list of contests. It is 3:30 a.m. for me. Not very good. Maybe after every bi-weekly, and that's every 2 weeks, I would make a stream on the main channel where I just go through those problems. I don't know. I'm not sure about this. Then maybe this second YouTube channel and on Twitch I would stick to competitive programming, because here I stream 3 times a week. Code versus problem solving at Coder, and at Coder doesn't have views. I mean, it has much fewer views, many fewer views than other streams, because it's just very hard. Code versus and Leetcode are for different viewers. So I don't know. If you have any thoughts on that, you can say now in the chat, obviously, but also check out the Discord server and feel free to share your thoughts about it. Binary Search Weekly, but Xiaok already does that. This guy. Also, I will write somebody at the end. Xiao. And if he does that, then it's not really that I need to. Why is this? Why is there Stephen K plus here? Is he doing every binary search contest? Recent broadcast. Weekly. Can I or is it just two last ones? How tall are you? Meter and 91 centimeters. What's my IQ? I have no idea, and it's stupid to measure it. Pick topics. What do you mean? Like every stream with single topic? I can do that. Name your video properly, you will get a lot of views. Like pointers stream. He asks money for subscriptions. That's perfectly fine. Like, people should be able to earn for doing something. For like past 4 to 5 rounds. Okay, thank you, Dush. Yeah, then I don't know. Leetcode is bigger also, so even though binary search has more interesting problems. Yeah, Alex Wise, I'm aware, but I think Alex Wise does only weekly contests, right? Not bi-weekly. So bi-weekly is still free real estate. I can do it. Alex Wise does weekly, like for forever now, for half a year. Any startup ideas? I will not do anything not related to algorithms. Yeah, 191 centimeters, yes. But if he does, I mean, it's important that he does weekly after the weekly contest, right? Like me doing bi-weekly just after bi-weekly, it would be fine if nobody else does that exactly then. I don't care that Alex then after a few days also will cover some interesting bi-weekly problems. That's fine. But the fact that here we have, after every binarysearch.com contest, we have already a stream on that, then sure, I can fight with that. I would likely get more views because I have a bigger channel, but it's some wasted time for somebody. It's bad. Let's avoid that if possible. I don't live alone. No, I live with my girlfriend. But I ask her to not be very loud during my streams. Though sometimes you will hear something like, I don't know. We have mixer, blender, for cocktails, or I don't know, making some food. Our dishwasher sometimes also makes noise. Leetcode is easy. Coding interviews are easy, Merge soon. I will not tell you. That's a private thing. When did you move out? From my parents after high school. It's normal in Poland. Most people move out after high school, and I'm in different city than my family town. All right, let's rate somebody. And yeah, I can do topics, but for topics I always think that let me finish this thought. When I want to cover, let's say, 2 pointers, I have this thing, you can almost call it some kind of illness, where I want to prepare it very well, and then I spend a lot of time, and really it turns out from hours to months because I postpone it, because I think that maybe I will make it better later. Like, imagine that you want to write a book, but you know that then you will not be able to correct it. And I would write a book for like 10 years because I would like postpone it to improve it a little bit and so on. And I feel like that about making streams for topics or any kind of article. For such a long time, I wanted to cover Gaussian elimination, or I already planned and made slides for prefix sums, recently for Chinese remainder theorem. I just need to combat this feeling that I can do something better if I spend more time. I should just like make stuff, sure. And same thing for, like, let's say 2 pointers. I can make a 2-pointer stream, choose a few problems, but then like later after a stream, I will realize, oh, actually this problem would be a little bit better, more educational. And when making something on a topic, I think that it should be very nicely prepared. And like I did that for like matrix exponentiation, right? I never remember how to pronounce it. And I'm very happy about how it turned out to be, but also I spent a lot of time, too much time on it. Is there anybody doing Leetcode? Or just coding interviews? Generally, the stream is over. I will just rate somebody. What's going on? Why doesn't it show videos? Oh, I see. Need to search there. No results found, including my stream with Leetcode in the title. Really? Oh, this is filter by, so like a tag. Okay, this is bad UI. I don't like it. Whom do we rate? Steven is streaming. Steven Saptic is also streaming. I used to watch Sugar Pine 7. It was very good. It's a comedy YouTube channel. You can check it out. Sugar Pine 7. Or just Google his name, Steve Saptic. Oh, there's still post-contest after educational on Codeverses. I don't know if this is the best kind of rate. Likely now this is some kind of hard Codeverses problem, but that's fine. War of Art, it helps with internal resistance like that. Okay, software tools, thank you for suggestion. I will check it out. Fuck perfectionism, it's harmful. I agree. I'm just reading past messages from the chat. Enough money to move out. I don't own a house, I just rent it, and then it's enough, you know. Europe is different from USA. You don't just buy apartment after moving out. But you know, working as a programmer, you can easily allow rent. Remember that Warsaw is few times cheaper than big Western cities, but still more expensive than other cities or towns in Poland. How to manage to be so humble? I'm good. I know that I'm good than a lot of people in programming. So is it that humble? Give me some code where I was humble. But again, let's move to Discord. See you everybody. Thank you for watching and see you on Saturday. Bye. Raiding in 3, 2, 1. Right, done. See ya.